Hi, I'm Devin from CareerFied. Welcome back to my home office, and we are in the last week of October in 2020. It seemed to go really fast. So while you buy that giant box of candy and eat it all yourself because you are totally supporting public health guidelines, I want to share one last tip with you on post-secondary exploration. And really, I want to pose it like a question. So what do you do if it comes time for application deadlines and you are completely lost as to what to do next? My advice, do nothing. That's it, do nothing. I don't know if you've noticed, but post-secondary education is really expensive. For most students leaving high school this year, their next step will cost them thousands and thousands of dollars. That's a lot of money. And I don't know about you, but I won't even spend 20 bucks on a shirt I don't love. So when it comes to these decisions about post-secondary education, if you're feeling unsure, or if you're a parent and your kids are feeling unsure, it's really important to take a step back and take that time to evaluate, because you're talking about making a massive investment financially, personally, and professionally in the future. Okay, so I want to be really clear on something off the top. Everybody gets the jitters about big life decisions. That's just natural. That's just normal. What I'm talking about here goes a lot deeper than that. And some of the indicators you want to watch out for, either you or your child perhaps are feeling completely overwhelmed and feeling a lot of anxiety about this decision. I'm talking stomach clenching, physical, you can feel it, anxiety. You may feel like the only person who has no idea what to do and everybody else seems like they do, or you may find yourself lying about what your plans are after school to cover up the fact that you feel completely lost. You may notice differences in things like sleep patterns or eating habits. Those are always red flags for things to look out for. And I would say to no post-secondary program is really, really making you feel excited, or there's nothing that your kid has come across where they go, yes, that would be amazing. Because if you're going to spend the kind of money and time involved, that's how you should feel about it. So if you don't, maybe it's okay to take a step back and really take a look at what your options are. One of the best tools I know of to help with this sort of situation is a gap year. Now, parents are often not fans of the idea of a gap year. There's this assumption that if your kids sort of taste the freedom outside of school, they'll never go back. That's always the big fear that goes along with it. But to paraphrase a colleague of mine, have you ever talked to somebody who works for minimum wage and heard them say, man, minimum wage is amazing. I'm going to do this forever. I'm always going to work for minimum wage. It's the best thing ever. Of course you haven't. So when people take that time, they eventually, almost always, hit a point where they say, you know what? I think I want more. There are limitations here. There are things I want to do and things I want to buy and things I want to be able to accomplish. And I can't do that with just a high school diploma. Now, the key here to making your gap year effective is to make it intentional. I'm not talking about taking the easy way out and hiding out in the basement and playing video games because you can't face life decisions. That's not what I mean. What I'm talking about is planning out a year that involves work, volunteering, and deep career and education exploration. This is a moment where, as a parent, you want to sit down with your kids and help them write out a plan step by step and figure out how to stay accountable to it throughout the year. If your kids need something more structured, there are actually a ton of programs out there available, and I'll link to a few of them in the description so you can explore those in more detail. You know, it's amazing how often you will come across people who really don't know what they want out of life, and they come from every age group. This isn't something that's limited to youth. So I would say if you have the time available to take and to use to explore more about yourself and more about the world around you, that's probably a great way to develop more long-term interests and to set yourself up with some lifelong career goals. So thank you so much for joining me on this little trip through post-secondary exploration for October 2020. I will see you back here next week with a new tip. And until then, you take good care.